Whoa! Happy New Year, everybody. This is Hero. We're starting off our 2024 series. The other day there was a question on the comment about how do we style without wire. And I think this one here will be one of the good examples of that. This is a Japanese maple. And we're in the first week of January, so it's dormant. I'm trying to remember the history of this thing here. Most likely a year or maybe 2 years ago, this was probably in the ground and growing straight up. Right here, we did a major cut and put the seal on. And you could see that is starting to heal back. So I'm thinking that maybe this was a year ago. With the seal, it helps to get this thing to roll back. See right here, this is a new growth that's gonna cover this up, right? I've been trying to emphasize that bonsai is not done quickly. Well, not a good bonsai. So you see this part here, it's fairly straight, but now we got some movement in here. But what's lacking right here is a good taper. So this is a sacrifice. We want to keep this. We want to keep these in check so this thing does not fatten at the same rate as down here. To have a good taper, we want these to grow here, so this gets thicker, and then it goes like that. And then up on top, right here, we want it to grow fast, so that transition from here to here is a little more natural. So at this point, what we're gonna do is to do this, do this, do this. Okay. Why I'm not cutting to the trunk? Because of potential dieback. Now this one here too is getting very vigorous, but it's in the wrong place. So I don't want this part to fatten very quickly. So I'm going to cut it back to here. It looks like I did it once before. So we want this to grow as far big as possible to give us a good logical taper. So I'm constantly emphasizing taper and movement. This one is more of a straight slant style, so we won't have much movement down here. We'll end up picking up some there. See this green tape? Well, like I was saying, a good bonsai is not done quickly. But if you plan ahead, and this branch here was going up through here, and then I pulled it down to get that angle. Well, that way you could avoid the wiring. Well, if you try to wire this that's over here like that, and it's getting big, then you have a very difficult time of getting that to not snap on you. Okay. Plus the fact that if you're in this material state and you plan ahead, get this angle so that it is going downward, right? Then you don't have this wiring problem. Now, this one here is one of the problems we're going to have here is the possibility of bulging here. So, but I'll go ahead and take that off, keep this. This is like a permanent branch. But those are the steps that you should take to avoid having to wire in the future. Right here, when I cut it, well, remember I was telling you before that on the maples, these have buds on opposites, right? There's one on this side, one on this side. So when you do this, then there will be a new shoot on this side and this side coming out. So I'm pretty sure I cut it once and you see that it came out. And this are equal. Well, we really don't want a fork like that. Most likely we want to go up the line and more upright and then slant, unless we want to do something extreme like that. But one has to go. And this particular project, I'm going to go for this one. Okay, once again, you see that I left the stub, right? It's allowing for the die back. That maple has the tendency to die back when cut early in the season. So now you can see the line, and then after we get to a warmer season, okay, like this one here, it has a stub. As we get closer and closer to June, we could cut it back tighter. Most likely, as this starts to grow, this part will die back. And so we just take off the dead. And then now we got this line going like this, right? Now, we got a couple things we have to do. We want to let this grow fairly heavy so that the transition between here and here will be more natural. Right now, it looked like it's been chopped off, which it was. Okay, but we don't need it so tall, so I'm just going to cut it randomly like that, and then we're going to let this grow. Well, you know, the maple tend to be a top grower, so naturally it's going to grow vigorously up on top. So once we get to a certain thickness, we'll most likely cut it here, here, it might be here, but that's down the line. So this is the point that I'm constantly trying to make, is that you cannot rush it. If you want good material, you're going to have to plan ahead and execute. And then, so to get this into a bonsai pot, we've probably got another good 3 years. Yeah, too many people run down to the nursery, chop, 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 slap some wire on it, and then want to call it bonsai. Well, that's not a good bonsai. And so, well, technically it is a bonsai, because in the kanji that you read, it just says potted plant. But we're talking about good bonsai that will kind of suggest what you might have seen in nature. So anyway, that's about all I'm going to do to this. I could take this, cut it, and put it in a different container, which might help in making it develop more. Okay, I took off 1/3 of the bottom, and then rake the sides, make sure there's no coiling of the root, and then I'm going to stick it in here. So I'm basically using my soil that stays more or less constant. So I'm just going to repack this and call it good. Okay, so I think what I'm going to call this quit. So our root flare is very good. I'm not sure about this one here. This big one might come off in the future. And there's enough others around, but I don't need to hurry up and do that yet. We're a little bit lacking in the taper. So we're going to manage the taper. So thicker here, and then we'll keep so that it goes naturally by how we manage these, right? And then this transition is becoming better. We already see this healing process. So this is going to be one of the keeper branches, but we already changed the angle with the plant tie so that we don't have to worry about having to try to wire this down. And then as we go up, we still got to get this thicker and then define our apex. So I'm assuming we got about 3 more years in this container. And I like this one better because it's bigger on top and very tapered on the bottom, and it's easy to pull out, and you don't have as much roots to cut in the future. Okay, so I guess we'll call this Japanese maple in training without the wire, because somebody had asked on the comment section, how do we style without the wire? So anyway, this is Hiro saying goodbye. We're going to be doing a whole lot more because this is just the beginning. Oh, well. So this is Hiro saying goodbye. I'll see you again real soon in another chapter. This has been the Japanese Maple in Training.